welcome to today's video. Today we're testing out a new foundation. It's new to me. It's been on the market for some time. This brand is a newer addition to Ulta online and in stores. I ordered the product online. I will have to say I was influenced by social media, as I often am with just watching stuff on Instagram, social media apps, YouTube here and there, and I do get sucked into buying some of the products, trying it out because I want to see what the hype is. This brand, even though it's a new brand to the Ulta stores and Ulta online, the founders of this brand are also behind a huge popular brand named Too Faced. And we're talking about Polite Society today. I decided to try the More Than a Pretty Face skin caring foundation, and I was kind of lured in. Social media got me. The foundation bottle itself is different, so that automatically that kind of grabs your attention because it is different, and I do like that. I like how it stands out. The brand doesn't have too many things. They do have a new product launch that just recently came out. I did purchase the Polite Pops. These are the new blush additions to the line. I am not familiar with this brand. I wanted to start with the foundation. So this is the skin caring foundation with niacinamide, willow bark, and vegan hyaluronic acid. So we've seen these foundations on the market, skincare infused foundations. Every single brand just about has their version of it. So I wanted to try this one and see what was different about it. But I think the packaging is really cute. It's cute to sit it out on your vanity. If you have little kids, I'm pretty sure they'll be like, ooh, what's that? Like mine, they'll want to play with it. It's plastic, which is great, so it doesn't run the risk of breaking or cracking here, especially since my vanity is a glass top. I like the pump, so you can see it has a nice pump there, and it's a standard 1 fluid ounce bottle. Even though it looks different, you may think it's less, but it's actually the same standard amount across the board. Of foundation, it's an ounce. So I ordered the shade Fair Neutral. So I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that this is going to actually match. They do have quite a few options for shade ranges to choose from. They have the very fair shades, fair, light, and then within those categories you have different undertones, which I do appreciate having a breakdown and having some options. I tend to lean more neutral because sometimes the warm tones can pull a little too orange on me or a little too tan, and then the cool tones pull too pink on my skin. And I do have a little bit of rosiness here, a little bit more of a kind of goldeny complexion. My neck is a little bit more yellow, so I go for something that's a little bit more neutral to kind of cancel everything out, neutralize everything, and that's where I think that the neutral tones will work for me. Now, as far as the fair neutral, I hope that it's going to be a match. So I am going to skip primer altogether because I want to see how this foundation works. I do have skincare on, by the way. I will list it down below and link it for you. I did take out my favorite foundation brush, the Anisa Pinnacle foundation brush, and also dampened and washed my beauty blender, because I'm not sure what's going to be the best way to apply this. But we're going to start with the brush because I feel like that's going to help, especially this one, help spread a small amount across the face and make it so that it's less product but still giving me some coverage. So let's just go ahead and dive in. This is 2 pumps on my palette, and it's slowly running down. It's not super runny and thin like a skin tint, but it's a little bit on the thicker side, but not ultra thick. So I think this is going to hopefully have some good coverage. We're gonna go in with the Anisa brush, and I'm just gonna take a little bit and just really start working this product into my brush and coating my brush evenly, and starting with a small amount and just seeing, okay, that might work, who knows? Did I match myself pretty good? They do have a chart that kind of breaks down everything, colors, tones, so I do wanna see how this is going to look on the skin. Okay, so I think that I may have gotten myself a pretty decent, actually, that looks pretty daggone good, right? Now, it's not blended all the way, but as far as the match, I think I did good, which I'm excited about. I'm gonna go in for just a teensy bit more to do this half of my forehead so we can kind of compare the sides. I think that would be kind of fun to see what this is gonna look like as far as coverage, and for me to look at it up close. So that blended in so easily. So this is the half that we just did, and as you can see here, maybe you'll see now with this side a little bit more kind of neutralized, and even how I have a little bit of redness, a little bit of rosiness to my skin, and a little bit more of a golden tone. These lights do make my skin kind of flush because it is pretty hot in this room when I film. But as you can see, that match I think is pretty spot on. So Fair Neutral is a perfect match. And I do like the coverage. I feel like it gave me a really nice coverage. There is a bit of a kind of glow to the skin. I don't want to say radiance because there's nothing shimmery about this formula, but there is just a more skin-like effect to this. So it's not completely matte, but it's not radiant, dewy, luminous, like super glowy, but it just looks like skin. And I do like that. I like the fact that there is some skincare in there. I'm a big fan of skincare infused makeup. If it's going to sit on my face all day long, why not actually give me some more than just coverage? Give me some skincare benefits. Make me a happy girl, and I think this is really nice. Now, I hope this wears well throughout the rest of the day, and we'll see how everything else applies because I do want to try their new blushes. So we'll see how those sort of apply over this foundation. But so far, this is looking quite nice. So I'm going to do the other side and kind of even things out so I don't look as crazy. All right, so here it is, the foundation applied. I do think that this looks really pretty. I am really happy so far with it. I do feel like I put more here. So I'm gonna just even just a little bit more right on this side, get a little bit more coverage, and just kind of push that into the skin with the brush and see how this builds. But it's actually going over on the skin really nicely, blending in beautifully. It's not sinking into my pores. I have no primer on, which I'm shocked because sometimes primers tend to help kind of make a smooth canvas for the foundation. So if you skip that and you have larger pores, you may notice that the foundation kind of sinks in, but this is not happening to me right now, and I am really thrilled with it. I do have a little tiny bit of dryness right here on the sides of my nose where the foundation is clinging to it, but honestly, any foundation is going to do that because there is like dry, like flaky skin right in through here, and you can't really see it unless I point it out, but I can see it. I'm just being honest with what I'm looking at as I'm analyzing my skin, but this is really pretty and the match could not be more perfect for me. So yay. All right, so this is definitely gonna be something I'm gonna reach for again. And I didn't use the 2 full pumps that I put on my makeup palette. I think that was way too much. So I think going forward, I'm just gonna do 1 pump, which is my typical amount for any brand. But I'm really liking this, you guys. So I do have to finish the rest of my makeup so I don't look as crazy. Put on my brows, concealer, do something with the eyes, and we're gonna wear this for the rest of the day. And let's hope that this turns out to be a really good foundation for me. Polite Society recently came out with some new blushes. These are called the Polite Pops. I ordered 2 shades, and I'm very much intrigued by this because the description of this sounds very interesting. It's an innovative formula. It goes on and blends like a cream, but it looks and feels like a powder. So it's kind of like a powder blush stick, which you never really hear that because powder blushes always come in some sort of compact. It's a pressed product, whereas cream blushes, they have the stick formula like this. And you've seen a lot of these sort of stick blushes on the market, but this is different. At least to me, I don't have anything in my collection that is a cream or goes on like a cream, but blends and looks like a powder. I love powder blush. It's probably my most favorite formula to wear and finish, just a matte blush or a satin blush. And I do like creams. I do think that they can be really nice and pretty on the skin. So I ordered 2 shades, Paris and Sydney. So I'm going to show you both of them. I did some up-close shots of the product before swatching it so you can see them brand spanking new before I start putting my brush into it and blending it onto my face. But the color called Paris is a really pretty pink shade, and I can see myself wearing this shade quite often. The other shade is called Sydney, and this name kind of has a little bit more of a sentimental meaning to me. I do like the shade and I'm interested in trying it, but not to make this video kind of sad or to get emotional, but my dog that passed away last summer, her name was Sydney. So when I saw that, it just kind of reminded me of her seeing the name Sydney. So I felt like I had to buy it just because not only the name, but the color, it looks really pretty. So I'm going to swatch them on the back of my hand, and just based off of feeling, this is my first time, so first impression. Here is this shade called Sydney, which is a little bit of a deeper kind of rose, and then here is the Paris, which is a brighter pink. It would be perfect for spring and summer, and then this one would be a nice fall shade, or I can mix the two. I'm going to show you both today, but they do feel quite smooth, very silky, and almost kind of like a powder. It's interesting. It's not as, it is creamy to the touch, but it doesn't feel as emollient as a typical cream blush stick, and it isn't giving me any shine, any dewiness, any radiance, so it does look like it is going to be more of a kind of powder finish, which I'm excited about. So I think I'm going to try the Sydney shade first because it is a little bit deeper. So as far as application, it's really personal preference. There's no designed way that you have to use these sticks. You could do a stripe on your face, you can little dots, you can swipe your brush on there, put it on the back of your hand, work your brush into that, and then go for it. Use your fingers, kind of tap it in. Whatever you want to do, you can do it. I'm going to use the back of my hand as a palette, so I'm going to just kind of get some on the back of my hand. I'm going to start with the deeper shade, which is Sydney. Work my brush into it using my hand as a palette, and I'm going to start applying this shade towards the tops of my cheekbone, towards the back, because I think I want to do the light pinky type of shade towards the apples of the cheek. And the only thing that I have underneath this is my Haus Labs bronzer, and that's it. I have not used any setting powder today, just to see how this foundation is going to wear throughout the day. And this does, it looks so incredibly smooth, and it does look like I put a powder on. So here's the shade called Sydney. I do need to blend some more, but I want you to see what the color looks like before I continue blending this in. But this looks really smooth, and it doesn't feel tacky. It doesn't feel dewy, creamy, or anything like that on the skin, which I typically associate with more cream blushes, more liquid blushes. But it looks like I put on a powder, which is so cool. I really like this formula. Very interesting. Very pigmented, easy to blend, and it transfers from the stick to the face very well, and I have no complaints. Not skipping, not dragging over the bronzer, which is a powder, by the way. And now I'm going to go in with the Paris shade. I'm going to kind of concentrate that towards the apples of the cheek. I'm going to wipe off my brush really well on my paper towel. And then here is that Paris shade, so I'm just going to pick a little bit of this up. And I'm going to blend that right into the Sydney shade. So it's going to be a little bit more of a pop of pink here, and then blend it up into Sydney. So that looks really, really pretty. Yes, I like that. Go over the nose, that little sunburnt look that I still like to do even though we're not in summer. But I really like the way this looks. This looks beautiful. It's smooth, it's kind of velvety, and I am here for it. The finish of it kind of reminds me a little bit of the Haus Labs blushes, because those have a very kind of velvet finish to the skin, somewhat blurring on the skin. And that went on over the foundation with ease, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be the same thing with other foundations and not specifically just their brand foundation. But I do really like the foundation so far. I'm really happy with the match, how it blended, how it looks. Still now, after wearing the foundation for a good almost 30 minutes at this point, and then these blushes, the interesting texture, the feel, kind of creamy, but kind of velvety, smooth, silky kind of feel, blurring. I'm all about it. And they're absolutely adorable, these little containers. They're so cute, and I don't have any complaints, and I love the shades. All right, guys, so here is the full face completed. I have added some makeup around the eyes, and I've done my lip combo for the day. I'm going to talk you through everything, but let's just recap the foundation. It still looks really pretty, and I really like the finish of it, the coverage. Everything about it is just checking off all my boxes. So I hope that it wears well, since I didn't use any setting powder or setting spray. And I also didn't use a primer. So if it can hold up and wear well throughout the day without using those helping products like the sprays, the primers, the setting powders, then I've got myself a really great gem right now in my collection. And I'm excited to use that foundation again tomorrow. And I'm going to keep testing it out. I will add some notes in the description box to expand that, where everything is going to be listed. I will put the wear test notes throughout the day. What happens, I will let you know. If it's still my favorite, as of now, it is. I love it, and I wouldn't change a thing about it. But that could change in about 9 to 10 hours when I go to take everything off at the end of the day. The blushes, same thing. I will let you know how these wear throughout the day, if they fade or if they stay in place. But so far, I love everything about this. I like how it's so easy to use. It blends exactly like a cream, but it looks and feels like a powder. It's very interesting. You got to feel it to kind of get a sense of what I'm talking about with the formula. It's beautiful. The shades are gorgeous. I do want to get some more. I don't know if I mentioned when I showed these the first time in the video, they are $28 on the Polite Society website and also on the Ulta website. I will have them linked for you, and the shades specifically listed, the ones that I used today. So Everything else for the face, let me just talk you through it. Brows is my Lawless brow pencil, which I absolutely love. I do need to get a new one. I'm running out. Concealer, this one, it's the Clinique Even Better All Over Concealer and Eraser. I've had this in my collection for such a long time. I went through a big decluttering phase, and this was one of the products that I rediscovered, and it is absolutely beautiful. The shade that I wear is called Flax, and I love the coverage, the finish, the blend on this is incredible. Okay, so then what else? Eyes. I did the Moira Diamond Days Liquid Shadow in Sweetness. This has got quite a bit of glitter. So I did this on my lids. I used a brush to apply that. Then I took a couple shades from the Laura Geller X Wheel of Fortune palette, just some neutral shades, nothing really special as far as the colors, just kind of like a tan and this soft, light, dusty pink, and a little bit of my Haus Labs bronzer. I mixed all those three together, just used a little bit in the crease, this on the lids, and that's pretty much it for eyeshadow. Liner, I did the black that was in this palette. Mascara, done. Couldn't be easier. Took some of the shades on the lower lashes as well. Called it a day. Trying to just keep it simple. Lips, it's my favorite combo at the moment, let me tell you. Pillow Talk lip liner from Charlotte Tilbury. Of course, the lip cheats are an incredible formula, but the Pillow Talk shade is my lips but better. And then, of course, I had to top it with the Red Carpet Pink. I have loved this lipstick since I bought it. It's a perfect cool tone pink. She recently came out with some new pink shades, some new red tones, and this is everything. This is what I have on now. And the shine and glossiness that you're seeing is also another viral product, okay? I jumped on this train because everybody's talking about it. They sold out. I think it was viral because of TikTok. I don't know what it was, but the Clarins Lip Oil. So I bought a set of 3 from the Sephora website, sorry. Set of 3 minis. It's this shade. This is one I'm wearing today. This is, I believe, is called Honey, but it's shade number 1. Comes with a pink shade, number 4, and then number 3, which is more of like a cherry shade. So if these are still in stock at Sephora, I would say run, don't walk on those. I will try to see if I can find them in stock and link them for you down below in the description box. But that formula is some of the best lip oils. Okay, I've tried a few and it's love and hate for me with some brands, but those are beautiful. Fills in the lines of the lips, make the lips super glossy, juicy, plump. Everything you hear about it that's positive is absolutely true, and I can see why people love it. I shared those on Instagram not that long ago because they were actually really great. A really, really great find, and they're just absolutely adorable. Perfect for travel, perfect for storing in your makeup bag. You can fit this in your back pocket in a small little pouch. I use like an Adidas crossbody little bag that I put my phone and snacks for the kids, and this is going to fit perfectly in my little cell phone slot. So I'm excited to have those. I'm just really liking everything. Even the eyeshadow, it's very glittery, and I don't know, I typically don't wear this much glitter, but I think it looks pretty. It's a nice pretty pink shade. I will link it for you if you want to try it yourself, but it's kind of like a glittery liquid shadow, and I like it. Simple, easy, but it adds quite a bit of pizzazz and just a nice little dazzling shine to the eyes. Anyways, that's it. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for being here, for watching. You can also follow me on Instagram. We can be friends there. It's always here on the screen. I hope to connect with you there. Subscribe for more videos like this in the future, and I will see you in my next video. Take care, you guys. We'll talk soon. Bye-bye.